Okay, something really interesting today. This is Star Garage in Patea. Gentleman owned it, collected car parts, magazines, cars, toy cars, race car molds, race car pieces, built his own stuff. And if you look up here, engine blocks and tools, carburetors, if you recognise anything, that's a Holden 6-cylinder manifold of some description. There's even brassier carbs here, which I'm sure people would desperately want, but we don't actually know, really, what we're looking at a lot of the time. A few SU carburetors there. Rover P5 hubcap, tell me if I'm wrong. If you look here, this is an AC spark plug cleaner and tester, which is really, really cool. So unusual, you know. If anybody recognises some of the engines, I think one of those will be a CX Honda maybe, I'd guess. CX 650, 500. Not sure about the rest of it. Old historic Phillips 66 clock. You don't know what's real and what's Mark II Zephyr, Zodiac grill, Zephyr, Woolsey, Targa bits, beaded wheels magazines for vintage car enthusiasts. If you just look, it's a huge place. Was actually full of cars at one point in time. See a lot of 30s wheels. I'm going to go with these being 30s and 40s tyres. Really classic tyre fanatics out there. Triumph Mayflower. You can just see. If anybody knows what this is off, this is quite interesting. Looks like a lower splitter. Trust Racing on, with a race car part. And there's some of his racing history here. All these were cars he raced. And a bike there by the looks of it. Really interesting. Some of his winnings. Look at that. $50,000. Wow. We'll show you on the cars in a minute. I'm sure you're all dying to see the Skoda Felicia Convertible. That's a really unusual car, even, well, anywhere, I guess. This is the other front part of the garage. I'm sure you'll be as interested as I am in the portable TVs and the radios, the old fuel cans, Grand Prix hats. If anybody's really interested in stuff, you should let me know, or let Star Garage in Patea know, because all these things are going slowly but surely. Yeah, lots of old paint guns, shelves. Look at that. Stars and Stripes newspapers from there, from the forces. Okay, everybody can tell me what this is, because I don't know. Me and vintage cars, I don't know much about it at all. Sorry, it's so dark in here. But I'll tell you a little bit of a story in a second. Like Star Garage Patea. So anybody can tell me what actually this is. I'd like to know. Advance and retard. 4-cylinder. I guess that's Austin or Bradford. I really don't know. I'm afraid these cars are a little bit too old even for me to guess at. All these were packed with parts. Sadly, over COVID, somebody decided they wanted to help themselves to one of the cars. So they broke in, hot-wired the car, which was an Audi, and drove it straight through the front of the shop, which was a shame. His daughter that came here couldn't actually get it because she was stuck in Australia due to COVID restrictions, couldn't come in and out. This car is very famous in New Zealand. It's used in stamps. It's just a piece of Kiwiana. Really, really unusual. Built a long time ago in Bulls. It's a 1937 Austin. 200 hours and 27,000 shells. Appeared on a stamp. It's really quite artistic. Really quite cool. Sure everybody's seen one of these. Easy pour lens go gas caps. Gas tanks. An unusual car here in New Zealand, an unusual car pretty much anywhere now, is the Renault 12. Trying to tempt myself not to buy it. And we have a battery powered robot. We've dad three together. You can see where we used to drive the cars in and out so we could change the displays. Everything was actually for sale. They actually lived here. So this is Triumph Mayflower, or the straight edge Triumph, razor edge, I believe they call it. So what they actually did with these is these were actually, the proportions are very, very strange. Like very strange. If you look, it looks like it should be a much bigger car than it is. And what it actually is a chopped down limousine. What they did is they built a big 6-cylinder limousine, and they decided with the recession coming, they needed a recession beating car. So they cut a huge section or two out of the limousine. I'll see if I can get a better picture for you. They cut a huge section of the limousine and then put a 1200cc side valve engine in it. So instead of having a big 6-cylinder limousine and a lot of comfort, what you actually had was a very strange little car that's kind of quite big inside, sort of, but 1200cc, so it wasn't exactly, you know, didn't set the world on fire. Some other competition stuff there. Now, this is a particular favourite of mine. This is the reason I just drove 4 hours to pop down here. It's a Skoda Felicia Convertible. Really, really cool car. Now this has got some hardtop I've never seen before. So if anybody is an Eastern European car fanatic, it'd be really nice if you can tell me a little bit more about this, because we don't know too much about it ourselves. There it is when it's convertible. Very unusual. Respectable performance. You notice, not high performance. Czechoslovakian car, twin carb, which is rare, especially for something that is, you know, built in the Soviet Union. And you can see heavily influenced by American styles, but very, very small. And this I kind of want to buy, but I'm going to definitely not buy it. I'm definitely trying not to buy it. This is a Skoda Sabre. These were kind of popular in New Zealand, and the reason these were kind of popular were that the Russians wanted milk, butter, cheese, and we needed cars. So they give us cars, kind of like this, which I think looks like a happy hippopotamus. See if you think I'm wrong. Very Eastern European, slightly rusty like they all are, but there we go. Very basic inside, because of course this was built in communist Russia back in the old days. The engine is in the boot here, and even more crazily, I'll have to walk around a little bit. Everything's a little tightly packed in here. You look at the back of it, sort of this postmodernistic 60s Sputnik strange styling. Very cool, I think. And right next to it there's another Felicia. This is a two-door hardtop, which is a little less rare, but still very cool and still very rare. You see the gentleman was a big Skoda fanatic. Parts, he would just mill up whatever he needed, because obviously most parts weren't available easily, so he just made them himself. Saab 9000 Turbo. Now that was a really unusual car. It was like the executive version of the 900. They did heaps of miles. It'll have a low pressure turbo on it, maybe a high pressure turbo even on these, if I remember right. But very, very flash. In the 80s, this was kind of the super executive Saab. You're more yuppie. This one's lost the keys, so they've got to pull off the ignition barrel. The styling actually went quite well. They were kind of a bit of ahead of their time when they were making these. but they were problematic, and that was a shame for them. What do we do now? Should we show you the rest of the Skodas? I think we should show you the rest of the Skodas. Okay, so here's the front of the more basic, Billy Basic Felicia. I kind of like it. I like its style. Either into Eastern European cars or you're not. This is a total one-off. This is a complete and utter one-off. I've never seen anything like it in my whole life. It's probably home-built. It's probably Kiwi. Maybe. It's based on a Skoda 110. We don't know any of its history, but it's really cool. If you look at this as well, I mean, they're so reminiscent of a car from a different era. I'll just open the door. Look at that. Huge steering wheel. Like, I love these things, I really do. So unusual. I mean, you know, there are quite a few of us that are really into unusual cars. Me and John Ficarra, at least. I'm sure John is completely frothing at the bit. Looking at this, with its gigantic spoiler, let's think race car, numbers and spoilers. But Skoda engine in the back. There was a tracker here. I'm distraught that I can't show you it because it was sold first. It was really rare. Look at this. Huge high sill you have to climb over, and wood braced. Very strange little car. I can't get in it. I just don't know how to. Now, some more unusual things. Not so unusual in the day. This is a Series 2 Renault 5. They ruined the styling for me at this point in time because they made them kind of bigger, kind of more city-ish. But really, when they came out, they were mind-blowing. Really interesting, because they were the sort of new super mini hatchback that took over for one of Renault's most famous cars. The 5 was so successful. Not as famous as the 4, actually, because the 4 was more worldwide, but, you know, still pretty cool. Look at the huge glider. Oh, no, it's not a glider. I lied. Would have had an engine in there at one point in time. 108 Anglia bonnet. A few of them. But you can see the super new 80s styling here. It's another unusual car, really, for New Zealand. Didn't sell many of these here. Not that interested. Very common in the UK until recently. Smiley face, we used to call them. Mark 5 Escort, I think they were. Mark 5. Z-Tech powered, good engines. Interesting, kinda. As they get older, I'm sure there's people who've got their fans. Another kit car. Bonus points to the people who recognise those real lights. If you can tell me what they are, bloop it in the comments. I'm sure you'll find that kind of fun. This is really quite sleek looking. Kinda. A little ungainly, a little bit Flash Gordon-y. Everything that, you know, we obviously like to drive. If you really want to buy some of these cars, some of them are still for sale. So just let them know at Star Garage Patea, and they'll be surely happy to help you out. This is actually quite a solid Beetle. I'm really surprised how solid this Beetle is. Like, it's really solid. By the way, I've known the Beetle, not for a long time. There's a part of me that tells me I want to buy it. I'm trying to quieten that part down very quickly. This one has good heated channels and floor, which is amazing. This was his daily runner. Little Skoda Felicia convertible, utility or pickup truck. This is a runner. The reg is on hold. Very basic and communist inside, made in Czechoslovakia. Actually, they're probably coming out of the communist era by the time they've done these, I think. I think these were actually one of the first cars that they were sort of selling to VW. Well, they were producing these when VW bought out Skoda anyway, for sure. And I think some of these might have actually ended up with Volkswagen Polo engines even, which is unusual. This one is the full-fledged Skoda version with the Skoda wing bird on the cover. Now, this is slightly unusual to look at, I guess, these days. But this is really another unusual car. It's a Borgwood Isabella Coupe. The car Borgwood was bought out by BMW. And BMW, they actually believe that BMW used some underhanded tactics to buy company from him. And they based a lot of their engines on Borgward's design. And BMW instantly became a lot more reliable because these were over-engineered, which is probably why really Carl Borgward went bankrupt. That, and obviously some pressure from BMW, should we say. But a very unusual car. But these were the first cars allegedly that would do over 200,000 miles. Let me just lift this bonnet up. There we go. Sorry about that. Took me a little while to do that. Very, very well engineered engine. Much respected. Borgward was quite an interesting engineer. There's a hand-built Buick. If you look there on the wall, that were the body panels that came with it. And this is how he rebuilt it to, which should give you an idea of what a great engineer this guy was. I mean, this is all built from literally piles of junk. Buick Special Tourer, I believe it is. 1927. That's a total guess, I don't know. Me and vintage cars, I don't know. But look at it, it's beautiful. Valves on the top, so you can see them working. Beautiful inside. Say hello to the dog. Hello, dog. I mean, these really are a beautifully crafted car. And so close to being done. Oh, there we go. It's a 1970, not 1927. You can have a pause of that and read it if you like. Very striking car, crazy colour. Matt, I can't believe that they were these colours back in the old days. And now this is a Fiat Wagon. I'll just see if I can get a better angle on this. Look at the air filter. Look at that. Amazing, right? This was being restored at the time. Classic battery charger still hooked up to it. Now, obviously somebody's going to tell me this is a Fiat Multipla. I'm going to take a guess at, of some description, because I think they call them multiplas because they are wagons. Also, just because I find this fascinating, and I hope that you guys do too. This is a 4-post lift of some design that I've never seen before. Kind of would worry me, but there we go. Look at this. Only Fiat can make a car this basic. Not a huge car, of course, quite small, like Fiat built back in the, should we guess, the 60s? Very unusual styling. Never really seen one before. It's the first one I've ever seen, in fact. I don't know what else I can say about it, really. It's just a side opening door. Look at that. Really cool. I think the Fiat is sold, possibly. Everywhere you look is full of car parts, instruments, things he used to make. He lived here too. Parts washers, metal folders. Yeah, a true old school workshop. Like a guy that used to build all his own parts. Hang out here. I'll just show you outside as well. I don't think there was anything particularly crazy outside, but you may as well come and have a look. My $300 Subaru. An old trailer, an Audi A6, I'm going to guess. And he built his own trailer for the Buick. It's pretty windy out here, so yeah, just an old Audi 100. Oh wow, that was a Vietnam vet. Very stripped bug. All right, and that, I hope you enjoyed a quick look at Star Garage. This is the last time you're going to see it. It's all about to be redeveloped and sold, but it was such an amazing thing. I thought it'd be really nice for everybody to see it before it goes. So all the best. Thanks very much for watching. like and subscribe if you can.